Well, where we left off in part one was this issue. And most people wrote in and said the Allen head's too long. And you can see I've got a shortened Allen head right there. So it wasn't the length of the Allen head, but if I put the shims, if I put a 30,000 shim in there, 3,000 shim, it worked fine. Well, I sat here and looked at it and studied, and I figured it out. Because it was, one of the questions, did I use a 90-degree chamfer instead of an 82-degree chamfer? Bolt's too long, but it goes down a long way down in there. There's actually a grease fitting down in there, or greases. But so what happened, and somebody guessed it or mentioned it correctly. If you remember, I had 438 was supposed to be the plate thickness, and I ended up going to 400 because there was a cutout here that I didn't want. So what occurred when I did that is that it's not that the bolt got too long. I think you can see right here, there's the spindle piece coming up out of the grinder. So what was happening is this bevel right here was hitting on this and not allowing the bevel to touch. So solution, right? Problems, issues, and solutions. So I put this in the lathe and I back cut away the bevel on the bolt. So now when we put it in, give it a little tightening. It's below the surface and done. Problem solved. So that solution worked. Now, let's go on to the next problem. So, my initial thought was I would put in the 3 magnets to hold these discs on, so you could pop them on and pop them off without a problem. And I thought I came up with a fantastic idea. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Come on, set it someplace. Hang on. So let's go on to the next problem or issue that I need to solve that I created. As you see, there's 2 pins in here. One of these had the original hole because there's a drive pin below this that drives the disc. My original thought was put the 2 magnets in and the plate would sit down on the magnets, and I thought, well, how in the heck do I align the plate to this? And I thought I came up with a pretty good solution. So basically cut an Allen wrench, let a little tit stick out like that. That would line up on the Allen head. It's a 1/2 inch bore, 1/2 inch bore, slide it right down, sticks. That worked great. Yep, except the magnets aren't strong enough to hold the plate. So here's where I created a problem. One of these holes is the hole for the drive pin. So I said, I got that hole. I'll add a second hole and then simply use those as drive pins for the disc to sit on. Hey, now the disc, the magnets are there, so you can pull it off real simple, and you can align the disc on there, and not an issue. Yeah, that was good, Charlie. Well, here's the issue. Disregard the sticker, because when they put the sticker on, they missed the hole. You can see that. Okay, so, but somehow I got this thing off center. And it doesn't matter which way I put the disc on, I got the same problem. It's even worse that way. So, I got a problem / issue, and I got to come up with a solution. And you can almost see right there that this circle is not centered on the Allen key hole there. So let me work on it. I think I know how to solve it all. I got to work on it. I ended up drilling all my discs at the same time. I could go through the whole scenario, but somehow I booted it. Part of what I want to say is that why I booted it is I did not go back and indicate, and I took some numbers on the DRO for gospel, and they weren't. So I'll bring you back. I got to figure. I'm working on a solution. Before while I'm working on a solution, as I shut off the camera, I thought of this. One of the comments would be, why not have the magnets out here further on the disc? You'd have more strength if it's further out. Well, I was afraid if I had magnets out here that it would hold swarf onto those diamond discs. Not really going to do any grinding down close to here, so I didn't think that would be an issue. These magnets came from Harbor Freight, so they probably aren't that strong of a magnet also. The neodymiums, but not that strong. So that's why I didn't have the magnets out here. I could put the magnets out here further, but I don't want to do that. So anyway, just a quick talk about magnets there. You can see I pulled the 1 dowel pin already, but just to show you somehow, and I just don't know how I did this, but I ended up, I've got about 16 thousandths run out on the edge of this plate. That one baffles me. I think I know how to correct it. I'm going to work on that. But I can't remember if I mentioned this or not earlier. This was my idea on how to align the disc when I was just going to use the magnet only. Pull that up out of the way. So come on. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? There we go. All right. So one of these holes is off. I know that, right? This one should, perfect. Boom. So that aligns it. Using that, aligns it down on there. What's it look like when it runs now? Of course, the disc is going crazy. That sounds like it's running pretty true. Let's get the indicator on it. See if we can get an indicator reading on it. I'm going to take those stupid discs off, those Chinese discs off there. Got to go to a side story here, guys. growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area, in San Francisco there was a place called the Playland. And maybe anybody that grew up in the Bay Area knows about the Playland. It had a monster slide. When you walked into the place, they had air jets that would blow up ladies' skirts as you walked into this fun house. They had these things you'd walk through that they would squish you. They had these things you had to climb up and down that you could fall. Quite amazing. Well, one of the things it had was about a 25 foot diameter platen that had a taper on it. And you'd all line up and they'd open the gate and you would run to get onto that record player. It was like a big record player. Of course, if you got right in the middle, you were golden. Everybody would get onto this disc and then they would fire it up and spin that son of a gun, and people were just flying off of it. Of course, there was padding around there, but flying off, something you would never see today in today's woke world. But oh man, that was the most fun to go on that thing. Anyway, side story here. So let's see what we got. When you pull on the disc, it loads it. Phone call. Hang on. Well, back from that phone call. I can't do this because it slides too simple on here. So I need to, let's see if this stayed in there. See there, it's got about 4th out total run out if I'm centered. So I need to solve why the aluminum disc is not running on center first, then get this guy on there, which I did all this again, but I don't know how I got that far off. I mean, I'm off half the dowel pin on this side. And I drilled them all at the same time, and I had everything clamped. Go figure. Anyway, quit bitching and go fix it. Well, I may have found part of the issue. I'm going to correct anyway. Solution. So here we are at the 10EE, and it's running out about 4th thou. It's an adjusted true chuck. Why is it running 4th thou out? Well, when I went to make this piece for holding down on the mag when I ground the plate, when I went to make that, well, I started with this one. And as you can see, it's chowdered at the end there. And you can see we got a piece in there. Well, so I was parting that guy off, snapped a parting blade in there, and you can see when it did that, it wrenched it forward in the chuck. So did I pull the chuck jaws a little bit? I don't know. It's been a while since I've checked the adjusted true, but we'll start there. We'll get this guy back running tits, and then we'll start chasing how I'm going to create a solution. Thought I'd share that. Okay, got the chuck back running true. So we'll move on from here now. Well, I turned the spud to 1/2 inch diameter after I had the chuck trued up, and I have the piece in here right now, and I'm getting the same 16 thousandths perimeter run out. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up, and then we'll get the plates on it. Quick update. So I've got the pallet, the back piece, turned. It's running true to my arbor. I've got the half-inch arbor sticks out far enough so all these discs are sitting on the half-inch arbor, and I've lined up on the one true pin that is the drive pin. My plan is to clamp these now and then either drill back in the same other hole if I'm going to get material, or if not, I will go ahead and put a new location for a drive pin. So we'll pull it out of here and do that over in the mill. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the lower one is the drive pin, and you can see up here where you can just see the edge of the other hole where I screwed up. I think I'm going to put the drive pin over here someplace, like a 3 o'clock position, and not try to go back in that hole. Well, success. Solutions. Other than the goofy label, haven't taken that off, but it's running nice and true right now, and we can go ahead and use it to grind. It works out good with the drive pins. The disc comes right off with the magnets, and then the two little drive pins drops right back on. So it'll be real quick to change the units and not have to go ahead and unbolt it. And it fits down below here. You can see it right there, and fits right there. So success on that, and now I can go on and show you grinding a end mill. The purpose that I did all this.